Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. And this is also an eclipse special, by the way. And I have to just chuckle here. Wingfield cheekily says he's probably primping for us and reading the questions. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah. It took a little bit of extra preparation this evening, and then someone else said here, oh, I can't remember. Someone else said something funny. There's something about structures burning up. Um, Someone say Carly saying happy Monday, Hoagie and all. Someone was just saying. Someone else said something funny. I missed it now. Never mind. Something about structures burning down. What's this here? Mary Blue Raven says over 700 structures have burned so far in Spokane. They aren't all houses, but can be sheds, etc. Where is Spokane again? If someone could remind me, is in USA or Canada? I think it's in the USA, isn't it? Spokane. Forgive me, because that one is a bit of a smaller place. The place I'm not so familiar is Taurus 1647 says Hoagie's jogging back now. Oh, bless. And then Daphne is saying we're here from the future, as Lena Down Under would say, Tuesday here. All right, so okay, combination, folks. This is a combination combo reading. I have printed off your questions, so I'll try and get. Ooh, what's that down here? Oh no, that was it. And this one was just, there was one bit that just said reply on there, so that's actually a waste of paper. But I got your questions in. I will select a few of those. Let's just dive in straight away to the eclipses, because I think that's going to give a bit of context into a lot of things. So of course, we have the eclipse season coming up, isn't it? So on the 12th of August 2026, we're going to have the solar eclipse, and I'm actually going to get the picture up. Going to have the solar eclipse, and I think, if I remember correctly, we're going to have the lunar eclipse on the 27th/28th of August. Yeah, we're going to be focusing on the solar eclipse on this one, because it's just the one that is most recent one coming up. But remember too, as well, solar eclipses tend to do with revelations around leadership, prominent people, persons, etc., royalty, CEOs, presidents, prominent people. Yeah, prominent people. So what I'm going to do is I've printed off the chart for the eclipse. Yeah, I've printed off the chart for the eclipse. And then on that chart in red, I have drawn where Elon Musk's natal planets are, and we're going to talk about how that eclipse affects him. And it's actually very important because, of course, let's not forget, he was, I should call him Elon, formerly known as trillionaire, yeah, because he's not a trillionaire anymore, although people still keep introducing him that way with giddy excitement. But he's not a trillionaire anymore yet, because that price has gone down, and we're going to talk about that now. Remember, the effects of an eclipse happen, they really start about 6 weeks to a month before it actually happens. So we're already seeing quite a lot of the effects of the eclipse, particularly impacting Elon Musk quite negatively. The reason why it's important, of course, is because remember that SpaceX and all of that stuff, a lot of people's pension funds became automatically enrolled in that. And it's, I'm not going to get into the whole, I'll have to probably do a deep dive on that on my financial channel. What I will also do as well, what will happen, so for those of you in membership, not tonight because it's already midnight, but tomorrow morning, I will also do as well the eclipse where it's falling for all the different ascendants, so you can see which house it's happening in. And I know that's something my membership really appreciates. Public in general are not so into the astrology stuff, believe it or not, maybe a little bit. But members, absolutely, you guys are really into that. And I was just asking you recently, isn't it, the kind of things that you want to see? So I'll be giving that to you there. I'll keep you also as well updated on all things Patreon. Let's say the fall for me, potentially. There, I'm going to be able to be much more candid. There is so much. I was just thinking about all the videos that I've done already, which are already on a membership on YouTube. I'd be able to do an even deeper dive on those and tell you exactly what I think about those people and what their charts are saying, because as many of you know, everything is censored on here on YouTube for sometimes a good reason. Of course, we don't want, you know, blatantly bad things. You know, you know the stuff. We don't want certain stuff, but many readers, this is why often we speak in code or what have you, or we put asterisks in names and stuff like that, because of that AI. You know, it's just like, I think YouTube are making a mistake long term. They're losing, they're losing people. They're losing people. We as humanity wants to speak up. Humanity wants the truth. Let's just put it that way. So what I'll do is I will quickly dive in. Let me just share. Let me just put here. Let me get this thing that I want to share up. 1 minute. See if I can find the bloody. Is this it? Let me just do that. Let me just do add to stage. Here we go. Here we go. And actually, I'll keep the comments up here because that's not going to interfere. All right, so if we take a look here, and you might be thinking, oh God, Hoagie, look at this big piece of paper. I wonder if I can zoom into that. Not sure if I can. Let me just see, actually. Oh God, what's that? No, I'm getting carried away. I shouldn't be diddling with things live on air. Anyway, the whole point is, okay, I know it's a big square thing and everyone's like, oh my God, what's going on? So if you look here, you will see this is where the eclipse is happening. Now, I've actually got this printed out because the text is actually quite small. So let me just give you, what do I do with that? What do I do with that printout? Oh, gee whiz. Oh, I know, because I've scanned it in there. Pardon. All right. The important thing is to understand, you see here where I've highlighted in pink, and again, membership, you'll get the scan of this chart. This is where the eclipse is happening. The sun will be at 25 degrees and 48 minutes of sidereal Cancer. And I've also got the moon at the same place, 25 degrees, 48 minutes of sidereal Cancer. Of course, in Western tropical astrology, they will be talking about this happening in Leo, but sidereally, in terms of astronomically, it is happening in sidereal Cancer. And this is very important. And if you see here in red, I have put, these are Elon's planets. And the important thing to understand here is you see his K2 is here, where I've marked in red, K2 in red. What do eclipses do? Eclipses reveal things. They can be like many earthquakes in the chart. Sometimes that revelation can be positive, but sometimes it's actually negative. Why? Well, quite a lot of the time it is. Why? Because it's a shadow, yeah? A shadow is cast across the earth and part of, you know, our charts in some region. I also have to add that the eclipse, part of the eclipse line is going through Spain and right through Ibiza. So you might see another video for me at some point where someone, a venue called El Silencio, got in touch with me, and they've got a cultural program and stuff. They are based in Ibiza. They are right through that eclipse path. As you guys know, I taught a couple of retreats in Ibiza in November 2025, and then of course May 2026. And I'm probably going to do some kind of video for them as well, particularly of how that is likely to affect Spain. We've also seen a recent drama in Spain, haven't we, with the invasion, in inverted commas, of that part of Spain, with connecting with Morocco, etc., and all of that stuff. That was basically a staged event. And that is can talk about that as well once we get into the questions. But we're already seeing the ramifications for Spain already. Anyway, I don't want to keep this bit up for too long. The important thing to see here is that this eclipse is happening in Aslesha Nakshatra, and which is the last part, yeah, the last part of Cancer, yeah, in the nakshatra system. And Elon Musk's K2, who I call Snip Snip, is in Astrology. So let me just remove that part and just get the screen back up bigger. Why is this important? This is happening in Elon Musk's second house. That wasn't an orb, by the way, that was a moth. This is happening in Elon Musk's second house. What is the second house? Yeah, the second house deals with money, values, and asset classes of all kinds. What's happening, yeah, with Elon Musk's SpaceX? Yeah, it's been going down. It's lost a lot of value. This has obviously been happening in the last month or so. Yeah, so the energy of the eclipse building, and now we're starting to see these results. And then there's probably going to be even more ramifications as well for the valuation price of that company. The reason why I'm mentioning it is because this is obviously very significant, because a lot of people have pumped a lot of money into this SpaceX stuff. Yeah, a lot of pension funds and such have been exposed, yeah, are now becoming exposed. They also broke the rules, yeah, in terms of allowing Musk to create this IPO, yeah, for SpaceX. A lot of people already have lost a lot of money. SpaceX as a company, in many ways, is representing the apex of the bubble, so to speak. So it's not only symbolic, it's also will have a financial ripple effect. Also, as well, I think it is one of Elon's rockets is about to crash into the face of the moon. How interesting is that? Yeah, if you just think of symbolically, it's not going to affect the moon. Obviously, the moon is covered in all sorts of craters and whatnot. But when we think of, you know, the eclipses, which, you know, are Rahu and Ketu with the sun or the moon, and we also have that lunar eclipse coming up as well on the 27th. I just find that really quite interesting. Do you know what I mean? So this is going to be a very significant eclipse. The nakshatra, if we talk about the nakshatra called Aslesha, it is known as the embracer or the entwiner. Sometimes it's known as the whirlpool. So this is a very tumultuous nakshatra, that the shadow of it can deal a lot with material attachment, and when material attachment goes too far, isn't that interesting? It's also a nakshatra that can deal with pathologies, mental illness, eating disorders, even suicide. Yeah, so that's the shadow of Aslesha. The positive of Aslesha is deep mystical abilities, wanting to get to the bottom, the essence of the universe, the meaning of life. It's also a very magical nakshatra as well. Again, that's just a fly buzzing around. It's not an orb. It's a very magical nakshatra. It's very intense. It can induce great spiritual wisdom and great transformation, because the essence of this nakshatra, the deities here are referred to as the Nagas, and the Nagas are referred to as a race of dragon people that live underground in the world, illuminated by beautiful gemstones. So there is a lot of things that is also associated with poison, but let's not forget, poison in the right dose can also become medicine. So there is an intensity here where we're going to see things on Earth really intensify and ramp up, because the effect of a lunar eclipse, you know, can go on for quite a while, especially in that the 3 months post the eclipse can also be very significant. So we're going to see themes around sort of like drowning, whirlpools, water events, people's careers going what? Down the plug hole, in a sense, yeah, going down the plug hole. This is a stormy and it's quite a tumultuous part of sky. This is also going to be the part of sky where Jupiter is going to come in, yeah. And you remember I said Jupiter is going to be what? Gandanta, in the drowning point of the sky between Cancer and Leo for what? 17 weeks. So that's 4 months and 1 week. starting from the 17th of October 2026, which is leading up to the midterms. Do you see? So this theme of Aslesha and actually going into the early parts of Magha Nakshatra, because it's 28 degrees of a water sign into the first 2 degrees of a fire sign, and this is happening between sidereal Cancer and sidereal Leo. We, particularly as we enter the fall, imagine if any of you have seen the Odyssey, yeah, the new Odyssey film. Do you notice there was that whirlpool? Yeah, that, what was it, Cerberus or something like? No, it wasn't Cerberus. It was anyway. That sea monster that was creating that, and then it came and bit off the sailors. Aslesha actually has that kind of energy. But when you go down, are you going to the source, or are you being swallowed by your own desires and attachments? Yeah, so we're going to see that element there, and I'll do more of a deep dive on Trump's chart. You see, I said Trump, Elon's chart as something, as an extra, as an aside, because I don't want this to all just be about that. But this eclipse season is going to be very significant for leaders, just to give us the more mundane overall, where a lot of secrets, a lot of hidden stuff, entanglements, attachments, greed, corruption, going to be even more revelations about that. You might see public figures like going into a tailspin, going into a whirlpool, people just absolutely kind of losing the plot. Particularly imagine as well, a lot of these investors, if they lose a lot of money too, if, you know, something happens with SpaceX, or we're going to have SpaceX or ChatGPT and these tech bros probably, maybe what, because they start to go into a whirlpool, start asking the US government for bailouts, this kind of stuff. We could also see quite a lot of prominent people or investors that lose money, go bankrupt, yeah, because K2 is snip snip, yeah, deals with losses. He's still in Leo, but he's part of this eclipse. So this is a tumultuous time. It's going to be a tumultuous time for quite a lot of people. However, those that are more spiritually inclined, those that do have meditation practice, spiritually inclined, are sharing wisdom, knowledge, deep wisdom, knowledge, education, spirituality, helping people through these difficult times. They will flourish. Yeah, they will do well. People will appreciate their wisdom, their knowledge, their guidance, you know, this kind of thing. So it's actually a very spiritualizing eclipse, believe it or not. But one of the ways it's going to spiritualize is that people that have excessive material attachment are really going to feel this, yes, especially in the next 6 months, next 3 months, particularly. You know, think of where that takes us up to. It's going to be quite intense. And then I think we've got more eclipses in October. So anyway, so that's that. I think that's a pretty good overview, but you can see how this energy, the eclipse energy, is affecting Elon Musk. And let's actually back this up, not with just me saying, let's give a little bit of SpaceX shares drop. Let's just look at that. Let's just get some. So if I just share this with you here we are. Let's just do, just so you can see. I always like to try and back up things where I can. Share screen. Just so you can see where things have gone. So you see, so I'm not just saying, oh, the eclipse is blah, blah, blah. I'm show you evidence, yeah, how this eclipse is really affecting him. So obviously they always do the AI overview. Anyway, so, and I think I spent SpaceX slightly wrong, but anyway, SpaceX shares are trading below their 135 IPOs. So that was the price they were originally sold at, yeah? Price down nearly 50% from their post-IPO peak. The recent slump is primarily driven by mounting investor concern over massive share lockups, delays in rocket launches. Remember, one of these rockets is going to crash into the moon, and the high costs associated with its aggressive push into artificial intelligence. Let's see a little bit more. Lockup expiration. Investors have been actively selling off to front run the staggered unlocking roughly 900 million insider and early backer shares, which begins August 6th. So imagine that. So if we look here, so the lockup, so that means the people who are currently can't sell their shares because maybe they invested early from the 6th of August. So remember, this eclipse becomes full. It happens on the 12th of August, but remember I said the month before. Well, we're going to have here, what did you say, of roughly 900 million insider and early backer shares. Not people, shares. They'll be able to start selling. So imagine if they bought their shares at $30 a share. They can still make a profit, even if it's at even if it's half the price of its IPO. Do you see? Launch setbacks. The recent postponement of Starship launch attempt extended the stock's multi-day slide. AI expansion costs. The investment thesis of SpaceX has shifted towards AI infrastructure, XAI, prompting concern over the company's capital requirements, reflected in recent investment grade bond sales. And then current valuation, SpaceX closed at $108.37, bringing its total market capitalization to approximately 1.5 trillion, which remains heavily watched ahead of its upcoming quarter earnings report. Now, I'm saying that, and this is almost like something for my financial channel, isn't it? But a client of mine who's got insider knowledge on all this, she's in finance, Heidi, you know who you are. I was speaking with her today, and she says at the close of play on, I think it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday or is it tomorrow? She's expecting another drop because there could be sell-offs and stuff like that. But the whole point is, irrespective, you could then see that evidence there for yourself, how this eclipse, yeah, which is a K2 eclipse, very close to Elon Musk natal K2, who I call Snip Snip. It's in the second house, yeah, his second house of money and finance. Oh, it's a bit too much of a glare, but his second house, because what I've done is he's a Gemini ascendant, so I've superimposed his house numbers. It's happening here in his second house. Eighth house, which is always opposite, happens to be what? In stock market, other people's money. And the next eclipse that happens is going to be happening very close to his eighth house. So do you see how it all works? Anyway, I think I have made my point. Let's get into your questions. In fact, let's actually see who's in. I hope you guys found that interesting, but you know, I had to give. Here we are, Washington. Nita says Spokane is in Washington, and then people saying Eastern Washington State. Thank you. Oh, and someone's saying Spokane. It's pronounced Spokane. God, American pronunciation. It's still a bit of a minefield for me, you know. Let's just put it that way. Hello from Colorado Springs. Hot. When will they announce about Mitch, Washington State, Hoagie, Spokane? Yeah, Spokane. Is it Spokane? I can't even remember. I'm still going to say Spokane. Sorry. We'll see. In fact, let's take a quick look. See. Let's take a quick look. See. We know that this whole thing with Mitch is just absolutely and utterly ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. And all of these faux pictures of him there with his wife, who clearly doesn't give a damn. Yeah, and all of this rubbish. I just think it's just a pile of drivel, pile of absolute drivel. But let's get some. Oh, actually, this. I should keep the camera here. I realized. Oh, look at that. That one's dropped out already. Yeah, working hard. I'll see what they're up to. Mitch, are you still with us, Mitch? Do you remember before when I was reading on him, I said he is between two worlds. Let's see if he's transitioned. Keeping that body warm. They are disgusting, these people. Not that I feel sorry for Mitch, but I believe that we all deserve the dignity of death. You know, when our brain dies, we deserve to have the machine switched off. Do you know what I mean? You can imagine he's apparently he's up reading the paper, yet he's not had a single word to say about the World Cup or one of his partners in crime, yeah, which was Lady, you know, Lady Graham, who's dead. Not a word from Mitch. Come on. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right, Mitch. 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 All right, let's see what's going on. Well, first of all, the card that fell out. Look at this. 8 of Pentacles. Grafting. Card of hard work. They are working so hard behind the scenes to kind of construct, keep this whole charade going. Yeah, working very, very hard. Apparently, Mitch is still voting somehow. People are voting on his behalf. Who knows how long they're going to keep this stuff going? Yeah, but today, as I'm talking to you now, it's now the 4th of August, 2026. But of course, in America, it's still the 3rd. Once the 4th comes, I think that's when it clears some deadline. So we might have some announcement, but they may keep going, maintaining the charade. Yeah, with this 8 of Pentacles, they might keep going. Let's see what else has come out. Oh, God, of course. Oh, this is very interesting. All right, if we look here, let me just move all of this closer. What we have here is the Queen of Wands, and as you guys know, I associate Wands with entrepreneurship. The Queen of Wands is about bringing different people together, yeah, from different, it's like a collegiate kind of energy. But look, you notice the black cat here. This can talk about a sense of using intuition. There can even be a little bit of secrecy as well, yeah. It can also talk a little bit about secrets. So that means they're collaborating behind the scenes, but they're keeping something quiet. We know that something sinister is up, yeah, but they're kind of like, it's like a little black cat, yeah, just crossing the road. If we look here, just in case you weren't sure, we've got another queen here. I think this is the wife, and you'll notice here she is the Queen of Cups. Now, in the benevolence, this can talk about a well-intentioned, creative, artistic woman, yeah. I don't think that is Chow, yeah, his wife. The Queen of Cups could also be what secret she has, yeah, as Lady G would say, what is in the cup of abominations. So this also shows how certain females are being told to keep quiet. So this could be the wife. This could also be a sister, by the way. Yeah, remember the sister? She's still running, doing her fancy schmancy, whatever it is that she's up to. If we look here, this is my card, 10 of Pentacles, literally card for the GOP itself, yeah? So you can see here they are. They're all there. They're all colluding together. Yeah, they're all having meetings. Oh, what we're going to do about, what we're going to do about Mitch. How long can we keep the lid on this? The secret sort of escaping. Yeah, negotiations, what to do. Also as well in there, look, the star, which, this is my card for Duck L'Orange. Yeah, so Duck L'Orange is in there negotiating, trying to come up with stuff. Also part of the mix. He was the one as well that also endorsed Mitch McConnell's sister, whose name escapes me. However, we have the World card. Yeah, it's the end of the cycle, guys. I think I've had this card before when it comes to Mitch. It's the end of a cycle. They're trying their best to hold on and pretend and make believe. And yeah, look, Duck L'Orange will keep the show going. Yeah. The GOP will continue to play their games. Yeah, they might keep the lid on the secret for now. They're all gathering and scheming. They're trying to work hard, together to keep this thing going. But at the end of the day, it's the end of a cycle. He's if he wasn't brain dead, yeah. Let's just use our logic. If he wasn't brain dead, he would have spoken to the press by now. Yeah, what's it coming up on? What, 2 months? Come on. One of the most kind of outspoken, what is he, senators or whatnot. Mitch has always got something to say. Nothing. And Lady Graham being dead and not a peep. If they had any sense, because they're so stupid, if you're going to lie about someone being alive, then get them to pass on their condolences to someone who was a major key colleague. Oh, look what fell out. Look what fell out. Death card. I was just talking about Lady Graham. He's gone, man. He is gone. Honestly, I will eat my own shoes if it turns out that Mitch is not brain dead. And then look here, 8 of Wands, things moving at pace, moving at speed. But you see here, you see how Spirit is just saying it loud and clear. Literally, the death card falls out. Just as I was talking about Lady Graham and Mitch. And do you remember when I was talking about I think I was talking about Lady Graham, whatever. Do you remember I found there was that moth that was in my living room and the ladybird? Do you remember how that all panned out? And I was like, oh my God, because moths can also be indicators of death. And then the ladybird literally is Lady Graham with his, anyway, never mind. I'm not going to say why he's got that ladybird name. Right, let me get into some of your questions. But I hope you found that interesting. Yeah, I hope you found that interesting. What have I done with them now? All these different bits of paper. Oh God, no, that's something else. Oh dear. Oh, okay. What have you done with the questions? I literally just had them, didn't I? That's something else. That's something else. That's that. Those are my clients' charts. Oh, here we go. Here we are. It all got intermingled just because I've got lots of stuff with yellow paper at the moment. All right. So let me just do this so you can see, like, shuffling around all my papers. Now let's have a look. See, we'll have a little look. See here. What's going on? Let's see. Earthquake, Suez Canal. Will the USA? Rebecca's saying, will USA be targeted by Iran and its allies through widespread blackouts or targeted drone attacks? Water treatment plans have already been targets of hackers. Thanks, Sergey. Someone else was asking me this, so thanks for asking your question, Rebecca. And just, I could read on it, but I just want you to know, Iran's drones cannot reach the United States. They can reach Arabia, yeah, they can reach the Persian Gulf, yeah, Persian Gulf they can reach, but in order, imagine, for Iran to attack American infrastructure, it would have to fly across the continent of Africa, across the whole of the entirety of the Atlantic Ocean, whilst not being intercepted, and then somehow land maybe in New York or something like that. Not going to happen. The only way that that could happen is if Iran has got some kind of ballistics, super hypersonic ballistics that we don't know about yet, that can actually have enough fuel to travel that far. Even if they did, it would they would get nuked. Yeah. So there's stuff where they're talking about, oh, Iranian drone. I mean, there could be, like, for example, what's more plausible to me, if they have sleeper cells of people that are loyal to the Iranian regime who happen to own drones, and then they launch those drones from American soil, that's different. Yeah. But in terms of Iran actually physically flying a drone, like how Ukraine have been flying drones deep into Russia, think about it, it would have to literally cross the continent of Africa. It would have to go all the way across the Mediterranean, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, still have enough fuel to direct itself to some power plant or something without being intercepted. So highly unlikely, but this is also part of the fear-mongering agenda as well, because they'll know that most people won't know about, you know, ballistics and how far a drone can travel and all of that stuff. Like I said, if they have weapons that we don't know about, like hypersonic, big fuel load, big payload bombing capacities that we don't know, that can travel faster than the speed of sound and reach America in an hour, that's something different. Yeah, but they're talking about drones, which for me is that's saying scare tactic. Wingfield is asking, was the water grid attack drone done by Iran or by the regime? With this regime, they're very capable of doing red flag events. Yeah, so we have to also take that with a pinch of salt. Nick Minks was asking, 5.7 earthquake hit the Suez Canal past few days. Check out Stephen Burns. Is the Earth now starting to react to the conflict? It's to do with the sun. Yeah. So I look at Stephen Burns as well, as many of you would, And it's what you got to remember is it's the electromagnetic activity coming out of the sun combined with certain alignments. And remember too, what I've been saying for the longest time, I've said Uranus, the planet of sudden shocks and surprises, is in sidereal Taurus, which is what? An earth sign. But I also call that the Gaia portion. So I've been warning about multiple earthquakes for the longest now. I know people don't always remember, so maybe I should remind people more, but I did say to expect more earthquakes and all of that such this year, and that's exactly what happened. So it's also to do with the planetary placements, because they of course can have harmonic resonance, including not only with Earth and the alignments of the moon combined with the sun. You know, you get those kind of things kind of coming together. My phone is beeping away. I wonder why I'm getting something. I can't think who'd be WhatsApping me right now. Anyway, and I don't think I've forgotten anyone. No, I don't have any collaborations today. Oh God, well, we'll find out afterwards, but I don't think so. Anyway, Jill is saying, I've been hearing rumblings that the finals of the World Cup were rigged. Payments made. Argentina was supposed to win. However, there was a shift and Spain won. Can you see if this hypothesis is true? Let's check that one out. We'll put here World Cup rigged. Let's put here World Cup rigged. I mean, I think anyone that believes in the validity of FIFA just basically needs their head examining. They've been one of the most corrupt international organizations for the longest time. I mean, we thought Sepp Blatter was bad. Oh my God, look at this one now. Infantino. Really? Trump meddling. I mean, anyone that gives Trump a peace prize is just corrupt up the wazoo. All right, let's see. Was there skullduggery? Was Argentina supposed to win? I mean, good job I'm not a big football fan, but I mean, I've had my issues with football for years. It's I think it's become an increasingly corrupt sport. Not the people that play, yeah. I'm just talking about the sport, how it's governed, where it's gone, how it's all become this money thing. They tried to, I'm glad actually European football really pushed back UEFA, because FIFA was trying to basically sell off aspects of the World Cup to the highest bidder, and they've had to scrap it because the backlash that they got. So it goes to show these people can't act with impunity when people are coordinated. Oh, well, look at this. If we look here, the next card that comes out, let's get a bit more zoomed in. The next card that comes out here, well, thank you. And there's 976 of you here right now. We got the Hierophant. What's the Hierophant? The Hierophant deals with government. It deals with tradition. It deals with the usual way of doing things. Of course, FIFA is a big institution. Yeah, big institution, quite patriarchal as well, likes to pontificate about things about the world. If we look here, Queen of Wands come back. So remember I said this is about what? Coordination, making plans, sometimes secretive plans. FIFA got called out because they had secret plans with oligarchy to basically sell off portions of the World Cup. They got slapped back so hard they had to stop them, but it shows here, and this is also business, yeah, negotiations. If we look here, there's an element here of the White House, Four of Wands. Yeah, Four of Wands, but this is also about reaching a milestone. This can also talk about a victory. This could also talk about Spain's victory, you know, bringing the World Cup home. But this is showing to me, really, I think sources of this corruption are literally to do with the White House. And we've already seen how Trump has proven that by running his lips. Yeah, remember trying to getting that red card thrown off of that player, and America ended up losing anyway. If we look here, we see we got the Queen of Cups also returns. So yeah, secrets there. So when we look at this, The official organization for entertainment purposes only, but this is FIFA. Hidden negotiations, business contracts, certainly sanctioned or facilitated or given the blessing by the White House. Here, the secrets are there. And then the outcome card is, look, it's the victory card. Now, obviously Spain won, but was it corruption that led to Spain's win? I'm not sure. Spain are consistently one of the best footballing nations on earth. I don't know how many times they've won it now, but it must be 4 or 5 times. In fact, let's look at that actually. How many times has Spain won the World Cup? I think it's 4 or 5. Could be more. How many times has Spain, look at that, already there, won the World Cup? Oh, twice. I thought it was more than that. How many times have they been in the World Cup final? Maybe that, I'm sure they've been in the final. What has Spain been in the World Cup final? Spain FIFA World Cup final. Let's see. No. Oh, so they've reached the final twice in their men's football history and won both times. 20. Oh, I thought they won more than that. They're still an amazing nation anyway. Regularly get to the semifinals and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, 2010 against the Netherlands and second time 2026 against Argentina. Well, I thought they'd won more than that. It all goes to show, and it's always good to check, isn't it? Always good to check. But no, I'm not. For me, I'm not really seeing this as, I'm not getting the vibes of corruption there. Not for the win. Is there corruption in FIFA? Yes. Is there corruption to make Spain win? No, that's not what I'm seeing. Not what I'm seeing there. The cards would have to be like, it would have to be like, you know, the 7 of swords sneaking away with something, you know, those kind of vibes. But nonetheless, still a good question. Let's see here. Wendy Schneider says, hi Hogarth. HIPAA and NDAs expire upon the death of an individual. Why are people such as hospital and first responders not talking about McConnell's death? She's put assuming he is. Well, you know why? Because of the GOP. Let's just pull one card on that. They've probably been threatened because we've already read on McConnell, and someone also, yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, look, judgment. They're afraid of being judged. If they speak about Mitch McConnell, about what's coming, they will be judged. Yeah, that's why hospital staff aren't talking. They've been told, you say a word, we're going to ruin you. We're going to, you know, there's going to be major consequences. Let's get to the next part here. What's this here? Oh, let's see. So Liz says, hi Hogarth, my question is regarding the Paramount Warner Brothers merger that is postponed until June 2027. The Ellisons are losing so much money over this delay and have even charged their lead lawyer. If the merger fails, they will owe nearly $10 billion, regardless of whether or not this merger goes through. Are they regretting this very costly deal? Well, the Ellisons are a problem. Yeah, they are a problem because they own so much of the media. Oh, wow, there's over 1,000 of you here now. They own so much of the media. Let's see, what's the energy? What's going on with the Ellisons? Oh, maybe K2 can do a little bit of snip there. What do you reckon? Ellisons. Monies. K2 also deals with debts. Pluto deals with extremes of wealth. So much wealth that it can't be counted, but also big, huge debts. So let's see here. Look who's back. It's come out in every bloody reading. Oh, they'll get a bloody bailout. Oh, these people are just... Anyway. So here, look who's back. Queen of Wands. You saw me shuffling vigorously. What is it? A third time out tonight already? So what does this mean? There are negotiations, secret negotiations, you know, behind the scenes. They're coming together. Here, the black cat, like I said, is that element there of secrecy or what is hidden. But this is talking about business. They're coming together, trying to negotiate, yeah, these debts. If we look here, we get the Three of Cups showing up, which can talk about celebration, you know, toasting an event. So, you know, they're working on it. They're working on it. I think they're putting together some kind of plea, some kind of offer. Maybe that's what the negotiations are, because we've got the Knight of Cups here. So the Ellisons are putting on the charm offensive. Let's put it that way. If we look here, just in case we weren't sure, it's about their wealth, their success, their abundance with the Nine of Pentacles. This is my card for the billionaires, living it large. But if anything goes wrong, who's their backstop? Oh, looky here. Duck L'Orange. Drink some water. Duck L'Orange is the backstop. If they run out of money or if things go wrong, they're going to go to daddy, yeah? Or they're going to suckle, yeah? On the boobies. Trumpy's boobies. That's their backstop. Trump. And obviously the Ellisons have done a lot of work for Trump, so he owes them one. Let's just see what else is there. God, look at that. Not even reading on Trump, and he's coming out in the bloody regions. That's the second time, isn't it? Trump and the Ellisons. What's going on there? Oh! Oh, this is interesting. Could be a little bit of betrayal there, or something might go wrong. Wait a minute. Trump. This is card of the heart. Oh, bloody hell. There might be news about Trump's heart. I know quite a few of us readers have been saying that, but, you know, I have to say what I see. Could worsen a bit. Yeah. Wands, which this can be like striking forward, new passion, energy, something new beginning, but it can literally deal with a strike, yeah? Or a stroke, maybe. And then emotions overflowing. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, I wasn't expecting that at all. The Ellisons. We just write here the Ellisons, just so you can see what I'm doing. The Ellisons plus Trump's heart. I need to put that in a note. Trump's heart. That was unexpected, wasn't it? Just put that in the notes. All right, let's get to, first of all, let's see who else is here in the old chit chat. Let's go back to main screen. Let's scroll down. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Tony Spring says, what heart? I know, pretty much. He's probably made of iron. Sherry said, I had a read a long time ago that Mitch didn't have a great relationship with his kids. If I remember correctly, a couple of them are Democrats, so maybe that's why, yeah. Has he got kids? I didn't even know he's got children. Wow. Well, that was a lavender marriage. Is Barry getting ready for his next safe passage? Go Barry, be safe. What does that mean? Is that slang for a blood clot or something? I think someone told me that. Sorry guys, sometimes I don't get the slang. Sorry. I am British after all. Oh, look at this. Wendy said it's rumored that Trump has a defibrillator inserted. Well, that would explain that, wouldn't it? Because remember, Duck L'Orange. And then the Three of Swords. That's the heart. There's literally metal going through it. Me wonders. Me wonders. Someone's saying, go Barry. Right, yeah. I think Barry is it's a blood clot, isn't it? Am I getting that right? Heading for Bermuda. Ah, thank you, Tony Spring. Let's look at this. Sassy is saying, hi, Hoagie. It seems Blanche will be confirmed as he claims in a letter that the weaponization fund is dead. That's all Tillis needed to read. Of course, it's just a lie. So you're talking about Todd Blanche, yeah? Let me just remind myself. Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche. Oh, him. This guy. Let me just share screen. This one. Todd Blanche terminates Trump anti-weaponization. Blanche formally rescinds Trump's 1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. Holdout senators back Blanche for AG after he formally withdraws Trump fund. So look, I knew they would pick him. I knew they would pick him. Holdout senators Blanche formally withdraws plan. So 2 Republican senators threatened to block Todd Blanche's confirmation as the next U.S. Attorney General now say they are ready to offer their support. Senators did so after Blanche, currently serving as the acting Attorney General, formally withdrew President Donald Trump's plan for a fund that could have been used to compensate people prosecuted over the U.S. Capitol riot by Trump supporters in 2021. We are pleased that the Department of Justice has issued a formal order terminating the anti-weaponization funds. Tom Tillis and John Cornyn, the 2 holdout senators, said in a joint statement. The move clears the way for Blanche to be confirmed to his job on a permanent basis. Well, there you go. That's that. I can't remember in which video, but I said they're probably still going to go for it because they're so corrupt. Spineless. So that answers that question, really, doesn't it? So that was the Ellisons. The pen. Let's get into the other bits and bobs. Oh, 1,044 of you here. Oh, let's look at this. So this is going to be a juicy one for you. So this is Nick Mink. She says the enclave of Spain near Morocco was invaded by over 60,000 illegal immigrants on one day. Will it be shown that an outside country initiated it to undermine Spain? Yes, and that country was America. Yeah. Basically, I can't remember, I was watching a YouTube and someone had the insider memo they want to punish. Wingfield said that is not real, and the US want the Strait of Gibraltar. They're all about shipping lanes right now. The invaders of Ceuta were all male, young, and they were trucked inside of government trucks. Over 25k of them have gone back to Morocco since they were just paid for the day. So the reason why I think this is worth a read is what we need to understand is, and one of the things what I've been saying privately, maybe not so much publicly, but you know how we're seeing like issues with immigration and stuff like that, which are multifaceted and complex. But particularly when it comes to illegal immigration and people arriving on boats and stuff, let me tell you, there are foreign actors at play. It's not just that the gangs are bringing them in. Think about it. If you think about it, if a certain place with a star on its flag, yeah, could insert explosives into pages and get those pages in, or get those explosive into pages, people's mobile phones, etc., and stuff like that. Think of the sophistication of surveillance that is out there, that is available in the world as tech. And they're trying to say that, they can't stop people in small boats arriving on British shores. Yeah, it is rubbish. It is rubbish. Everyone needs a mobile phone. Yeah, they're not carrying maps. No one's carrying maps. The point of what I'm saying is that this is a tool. Not all immigration is, first of all, some immigration, a lot of it is needed. Some of it is needed. Yeah, because, you know, populations, people aren't having kids, etc. And of course, there is a difference between legal migration and illegal migration. I'm not going to go into nuances and the vicissitudes of migration and all that stuff. The wider point of what I want to make is that there can often be foreign governments that can make surges happen. And we have seen that with this situation right now in Spain. So what they've done is they've actually revealed, if you want numbers to surge, you can bus people, or you can give people boats, or you can pay gangs and all of this kind of stuff. They've actually revealed their hand because they want to punish Spain. Why do they want Spain to be punished? Or they said it's Morocco is upset because Algeria is getting some upper hand. But either way, think about it. Spain has been pushing back a lot against this Trump regime. And, you know, because they said, no, you can't use our airspace. We don't want the American companies, because they said no social media for under 16s. Remember, Trump tweeted, he was like, this is, all of the usual stuff. So, yes, it's out there. And this has even been reported on UK news, by the way. But let's look at this. How is America involved in this? Why did they help orchestrate and facilitate this event, which, of course, has gone all around the world and is emboldened, the far right, of course, particularly in Europe. Elections are coming up. Let's not also forget as well, like I said, the eclipse, this solar eclipse, the shadow goes through where? Spain. Wherever the shadows go, show where the emphasis will be in global events. So before I turn over the cards, let me just back up what I'm saying here. So eclipse path 2026, that's it. So if we do this here, let me just click on this one. So if I do share screen again, you can just see for yourselves. Because remember, I said the energy of an eclipse starts about a month before it actually happens. So we've been seeing how Elon Musk, how he's been affected by the eclipse. Now I'll just show you here. Let me just do share screen. Spain is obviously having a bit of hot water right now. And when you look at the eclipse path, going right through Spain. I do here. You can see here, thankfully it manages to skip Britain. We've got enough drama, but you can see here, look, it goes straight through. And that's why I'm going to be giving a little talk, like I said, with El Silencio about the eclipses here. There's another version here where you can see it goes up, through Greenland. So look, Greenland could be back in the news, and it ends there, goes up over the Arctic. So you can see it goes through Greenland. So where else? You can see all these various different kind of models. But anyway, I think I've made my point. Let me do stop share. So drama for Spain, as we're seeing already. All right, I see what's going on. So if we look here, have a quick slurp. This is about holding on. This is about I think this is about the Trump regime holding on. It's trying to hold a position. It's trying to hold power. It is been losing, of course, effectively, to Iran. You've got the Strait of Hormuz, which is closed. You've got, the Red Sea part that is closed. So all the shipping lanes are starting to become increasingly important. So that's why I think, what's her face? Wingfield, saying Israel and the US want the Strait of Gibraltar. This is about what? Holding on, trying not to lose anymore the Four of Pentacles. That's what that talks about. So we can see there is that energy within the regime. They know they're losing things. How can we save face? How can we maintain our dominance? If we look this time, we have got the King of Wands. So this again is talking about negotiations. Obviously, we've had the Queen of Wands come out 3 times. This time it's the Four of Wands. But again, this still talks about business negotiations. These people were likely, paid. It's an orchestrated event for maximum impact and drama. Here you'll see the king here has got the salamander. Yeah, with the queen, of course, it's the black cat. What is the salamander known for? It's known for walking through fire. So they're trying to create a hot situation, some kind of political boiling point to make a point and try to hold on and defend a position, save face, and to not keep hemorrhaging losses. Yeah. If we look here, 10 of Swords. I think that all of these machinations and stuff that has basically killed the relationship between USA and Spain. Yeah. But it's also done a lot of political damage. Yeah, the visuals of that going around, it's done a lot of political damage, which is part of what this was intended to do anyway. Yeah, score maximum political damage, embarrassment, have the pictures go all around the world, destroy a reputation, maybe to humiliate Spain. Yeah, and remember as well, they've got the eclipse path going through. We look here, we've got the King of Cups, and this is often the card for democracy and stuff. This could be maybe the King of Spain, or it could be the President of Spain. Either way, it's going to be a creative, intuitive, maybe sensitive male of some kind. Obviously, this ain't going to be Trump. It ain't going to be Duck Larange. He's probably a Spanish leader of some kind. And then here you see the Ace of Wands. So there's going to be a response. Yeah, there's going to be a backlash from Spain. They might come up with some new ideas. I say elbows up. Yeah, elbows up, Spain. Don't get beaten down. I think they're going to strike back in some kind of way. Oh my God, look at the bloody time. Gee whiz, I can't believe it. It's gone so quick. So there's that. Where's the pen? So thanks for that. Let's do, someone has not not CrossFit at all. It says, does Trump believe his own lies? Let's quickly pull on that. And then laughing inappropriately says, hope not too late. I'm curious if eventually the corruption and fraud perpetrated on the US citizenry by Trump regime will be uncovered, and will there be a restitution? It doesn't need to be uncovered because it's already out in the open. It is blatant now. Yeah. Key is will anybody act? You can see Todd Blanche. Looks like Todd Blanche is going to be, they're so corrupt. They are just so corrupt. Let's just see here. And again, that's not to dismiss your question, laughing inappropriately. It's not to dismiss your question, but it's so obvious now, isn't it? It's like the crimes are in plain sight. Nothing's being done. Looks like Todd Blanche is going to be confirmed because they dropped, that little bit, which was to try and compensate the people of, the insurrection. I mean, it should be a steaming pile of ashes by now. It's like, anyway, so let's see. Does Trump believe his own lies? Duck Larange. Let's take a look. 1,070 of you here right now. Thanks so much. And please, of course, be sure to like and subscribe. Subscription is free, of course. Share, hype, all that jazz. Help the channel grow. All right, let's have a look. Reet. Does Trump believe his own lies? I'm expecting to see cards like 7 of Cups. Illusions and delusions. If we see sane, rational cards, it means it's all an act. But I think he is bonkers. Let's take a look. Oh! Oh! How many times? This is like number 4. Oh, this is very interesting. This is very interesting, isn't it? All right. Sleepless nights. Duck Larange is worried. Yeah, he's worried. Sleepless nights, headaches, all of this kind of stuff. he, like I said, it's all bluff and bluster. He's sweating bricks. Yeah, irrespective of what he looks on the outside, he is sweating bricks. We look here. Oh, look, secret machinations and negotiations happening behind the scenes. This is for him to kind of ensure his billions, all of the insider trading, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is what, the 4th time I think this card has come out tonight, the Queen of Wands. We look here, we got the Knight of Pentacles, which also talks about money, the loyal, steady knight. This can also deal with the mercenary as well. These are all the people, the henchmen, those that are taking the backhanders from Trump to kind of do his bidding. These are also the people that are part of the corruption. We look here, though, he's just losing it. Yeah, he's the moon. Yeah, nothing is clear by moonlight or is impacted by desires, and he's all over the place. So yeah, I think he believes some of it, not all of it, but he believes some of it. But look who's back again. Something's going on. Yeah, I've got to make sure I make a proper note on this, because the 3 of Swords has come out again. The heart issues. So if he's been fitted with a defibrillator, maybe something might go awry. Who knows? But isn't that interesting that that card came back out again? So I'm going to say he believes some of his lies. Not all of them, but he believes some. Anyway, look, this fly is buzzing around like a lunatic. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope you found that interesting. Of course, like, share, subscribe, all of that jazz. Let's help the channel grow. Keep it going. Thank you for all of the love and the support. I'll keep you guys updated on Patreon and all of this kind of stuff. And don't worry, you know, people aren't going to have to pay 2 subscriptions and all this kind of stuff. You can just choose one or the other. I will still post videos to membership, yeah, but it's on the Patreon. That's where I'm really going to be able to just give you it all, especially on the dreams and all of that stuff. I have had to hold back so much with them dreams that I've been told. I've told you about 50%. Yeah, about 50%. What happened? So much I couldn't even talk about because it turns out it's classified information. So all of that, and then there'll be other things as well. That's where I'll do my tarot courses. Well, people asking me about tarot courses, people have to do tarot courses, all that jazz. My art, my books, the whole shebang. The more I think about it, I'm like, no, this is good. Freedom. I will still be doing my YouTube. Don't worry about that. I will still be producing my videos in the usual way. Members, you are going to get your ascendants and all of that stuff. It's just the Patreon is going to be extra. The kuni, the real juice and sizzle. Unfettered. Yeah, that's what you're going to get from me. Anyway, I will leave it there. I've already gone on long enough. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me, and you'll see me on Wednesday. Wednesday, it's going to be Sulab, yeah, from Chariot Palmistry. He's going to be our special guest. Anyway, I will leave it there for now. Big love, everyone, and bye for now. Cheers.